beats from Mexico.
I hate you, beach.
The audacity of having to use an app to schedule a haircut, it bothers me a lot. And in Romania, they don't even, barbers don't even take credit cards still. It's completely a cash business. They've
It's
never,
just like rocks and washers and bolts and
they've
stuff.
just never once paid taxes ever. Well, because they're like, hey, we don't have medicine in this country. Why am I going to pay taxes? Now, usually when me and Channing pod together, whoever it is with, or if it's just together, we like to call it haters. This is the name. The working title of the podcast, yeah.
And we all speak in black accents?
No, not necessarily, but obviously, if you can slam the dunk, we'll throw you an alley-oop.
Smoke them if you got them. Okay.
We're here with...
Burn that shit if you want. That's what we say. Well, I tell you what.
We're here with one of Austin's funniest comedians, and honestly, just people, enlightening, kind, gracious, and interesting. Arielle Norman.
Wow, thank you. Wow, thank you. Really nice.
Thanks for being here.
Really nice.
I'm trying to think of two of your strangest credits to put together. Give me one weird one.
Open for Maria Bamford. Open for Maria Bamford.
She's open for Maria Bamford and also Louis C.K.
There, I set you up.
There you go. Doesn't happen often. It's good to be here in the, what do we call this studio these days?
Working title for the past 2 years that I've had this is Popcorn Ceiling.
Popcorn Ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better than Pound Town number 3.
Or Juice Box.
Juice Box? Why would it be a
Juice
Juice
Box.
Box?
Our old cat's name was Juice.
Oh.
Oh. And it just shitted up in the studio all the time.
Yep.
Constantly.
So you keep the litter box in the podcast studio.
Is your animal disrespectful with the shit?
No. She's actually pretty good. She's good at shitting.
Better than me?
Yeah, you're a problem every time you come in.
Dude, yeah. And I don't mean to be.
We put a bidet in the studio bathroom strictly for Radu.
Literally just for me, yeah.
Yeah.
I have what's called a working man's hemorrhoid. And so,
You really do have a hemorrhoid, don't you? Didn't you tell me about
not
that?
just one. No,
Okay.
I have
Multiple hemorrhoids.
yeah, and I never, most people get hemorrhoids from cool sex or working in weird.
I don't think so. I think it's from straining to poop.
It's from, yeah.
Dude, it's not for straining for me. It's sitting on the toilet and reading entire Wikipedia articles 40 minutes after I'm done
do that
shitting.
A lot. Am I gonna
Yeah,
get a hurt?
that's one of the worst
But you're-
things you can do
you're
for.
only 30, right?
I'm
You
30
only have
years old.
hernias?
Yeah, not
How much time
hernias, hemorrhoids.
Oh, hemorrhoid. That's right. Yeah. But how much time are you spending on the toilet?
I consider it my aquatic office. I'm there 25 minutes minimum.
I got a lot of work done on the toilet.
I've done an hour.
It's a good place for productivity.
It's a productive place. It's a place where if you're in there and someone's like, "Hey, can I?" You're like, "I'm in the bath. What are you doing? I'm in the bathroom."
Women don't get it. It's our office.
Yeah. And Mulaney has a bit about it where it's like I'm in there until both legs are numb, and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
that's
pretty much every time.
I'm in there till I have to shit again. That's what I'm doing.
You're having a
I go, oh, goddamn.
I do feel that sometimes where you take a shit and then you're like, I'm not done yet.
If you're hungover,
Oh, yeah.
I gotta go retake that shit.
I will shit 4 times in a morning to the point where I'll shit. I use the bidet and I don't usually use a towel, so I drip dry there for 10 minutes. And then by the time that's done, I'll go out to the kitchen for another 10 minutes and then I'm like, I gotta go again.
So
Whoa.
sometimes
It's
you just sit all the way through all
But that
4?
morning is different.
No.
Morning makes more sense to do that.
I have to get up and move around and
Walk
then
around a
go do
little.
something and then I'm like, oh, here we go, round 2.
Jog a
Little aftershock.
By the way, drip dry sounds like a great rap name for you.
I didn't know. Wait, you're
That is good.
drip drying your poop?
No, drip drying my wet ass.
Right, but I mean, I still feel like even with the water, I need to still make sure it's all the way clean. I don't know.
So
I don't
you're
trust the
doing a
water
bidet
for-
and then wiping?
Yeah.
Sometimes I will if I'm in a rush.
At least to check.
I'll do I'll play a chess game while I dry off on my phone and then
Oh yeah, so I just have never thought about just sitting there.
I
that
also
long.
I sleep in trunks a lot, so a lot of times I'll just pull them back up just wet and be like, this is what they're
There's
made
something so zen to air drying. If you air dry meditatively,
for. Yeah.
it's so bizarre.
Oh, you're not on your phone now. You're actually being.
If
Present.
you're not on your phone, you're just waiting for the world to dry you.
You're being. Do you do that? You'll be present with.
Waiting
air
for the
drying?
world to dry you.
Yeah, I've done it. I mean, mostly I've done it inadvertently, when you raw dog a flight,
phone,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff or whatever. I'm I never do it on purpose. I'm just I have a thought so manic
Right.
that it leads to 16 more interesting thoughts, and I'm like, whoa, how much times has gone by?
Yeah.
It's all
While you're drying your butt.
Not necessarily. I'm saying in any occasion. So like
But
that's why drip drying has been easy for me because I'm like I don't even mean to do it.
So you drip dry too?
A good 30% of the time. Not always. But a good. I'm deliberate and indeliberate at least 30% of the time.
Nice.
Can't do it at the sauna anymore. At the Korean spa. I used to go and because I don't wear my glasses, and if you just take your glasses off, I don't care how naked I am, how naked everyone else, I can't see shit,
Yeah.
But now I'm wearing contacts, and I'm like, I can't just be naked in front of old people like that.
You mean if you couldn't see them, it was okay, but now that you can see them, you can't?
Yeah,
be naked?
I couldn't see them, so it didn't matter.
It didn't matter
to me.
that you were naked.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny. That's it. You know what I mean? Because
Well, that
you're
takes
not worried
the fun
about what
out.
they
Yeah, because it
can
doesn't change anything. It just changes my weird little hermit crab perspective.
see. Right.
But my shell was gone, or now that I have a contacts, my shell is.
Yeah.
I can't finish the metaphor.
Yeah.
I don't even know where your train of thought is because we were talking about drip drying and now you talking about.
I'm
How
like
do we
I
get to
can't
the
I can't be
sauna?
drip
Yeah.
drying in front of. I used to be able to drip dry even in public. is
Oh,
what I'm
so
saying.
you would get out of the steam room or whatever and then just
Get out of
sit
the steam
naked.
room and sit no towel.
No. No towel.
You ever been a no towel guy?
Ass on a public bench.
Sure,
put the
yeah.
towel down
Maybe
and
put
sit
the
on
ass.
top.
Yeah, put the towel down on the bench. But I'm just saying, you're just standing in front of the mirror, kind of these hands, and you're like, damn.
Do you do that? You do a pose like this?
Absolutely.
You do this?
Yeah, because I saw old guys doing it. Everyone like 60 and up at the gym does it, and I identify with old people.
Is that one of those like poses like that you?
That's insane.
Superman pose?
No, I would never like hands up. Don't
Remember
shoot. That's nuts.
Did you see that? It was like a TED talk. It was one of the earlier TED talks where this woman said that like if you did victory poses, then it would make you more confident and.
It does, and it also tricks people like kind of this and whatever. It makes people like think,
Yeah.
oh, that person.
I do
is
that in the
more-
morning
stiff.
when I wake up. I literally will walk from the bedroom to like the kitchen, the living room,
Yeah.
and I do this. Like I just want to fight, or I go like this. I go like that. Like, where's my belt? Where's my belt? I walk into the living room and I do that.
So
Try
men,
it.
Men
It's
are
fun.
just doing affirmations all the time with it.
I didn't
Yeah, we
realize. I
kinda
thought I
do.
was doing a bit in my head, but it does make me feel better.
We be
So I'm
affirming.
doing that without really recognizing.
be
it.
affirming.
Yeah.
No, I think women need some more of that energy to really affirm ourselves.
Women got to shadow box more.
You gotta shadow box
Raise your
more.
mic a little bit, just a little.
Yeah, talking to the front of that bad boy.
Yeah.
Not the top, like this part right here.
Wait,
though.
wait, wait. Well,
Boom. Oh, that's good. That's nice.
Okay, now let's start over.
You're here on the Kenny G Hour. We're talking chess and smooth jazz. Me and her were talking earlier. Like white people stole jazz and made smooth jazz from black people. White people also stole woke from black people and made it like annoying and shitty. They made it smooth woke.
Yeah, I remember when woke would remember woke God on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, God.
It was like
It was just an account.
early Green Book sort of way. Like woke wasn't about like canceling people. It was about like, hey, watch out because these people don't have your best interests, or this could be dangerous, or whatever. It was a way for people to like kind of look out for.
Yeah.
Hey, these people are like beyond the surface racist, and then that got turned into like purity tests and whatever. Like we have to, we have to police the way. We have to thank people for the land we stole from them. We're not going to give them any money, but we do have to thank them
Right.
before every meal.
Performative, yeah.
And we have to change the way we describe homeless people, and we're not gonna give them any money, but we're gonna change the, that's what it became.
And we have to pray for the Palestinians. We're not going to give them any.
We're not gonna give them shit. Actually, we sent them some money. It's in Israel. Go and get it.
It got intercepted along the way. Supply drop inbound. Error.
Error is a good name for a rapper too. So I'm really
Error
fixated
is
on.
sick.
I think I'm gonna launch my comedy rap or comedy music career at some point.
You should just do like the black comic thing and have like a nickname. Like I've always wanted. You know how there's like
Every comic
Earthquake.
has. It's. I don't know who gives them out, but a lot of comics have nicknames, and it's not like Shane Gillis, the Young Bull. I'm trying to like Dave Attell. They call him the Legend. I always blank on some of them, but
there's one and it's the Young Bull.
No. There's quite a lot. There's quite a lot. Some people even.
Oh, the Golden Pony.
There you go. The Golden Pony. Yeah, I don't know who came
Who's
up with
the
that.
Golden Pony?
Tony
That's
Hinchcliffe.
Tony.
Oh.
Yeah,
Tony the Golden Pony.
I think he came up
That
with
was
that.
kind of gay.
Yeah.
So,
So he definitely
kinda-
came. Him and
it's
his
like a burnt, yeah.
him and his writers came up with that.
He thought of it in the middle of the night and he went, "I fucking love it."
Joey Coco Diaz.
Coco Diaz.
There's another
Coco.
one.
Do people ever just call him Coco?
No.
Yeah.
Do they? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I don't
I mean,
know.
he talks about it on his podcast. Like that was his nickname when he was a baby.
There's some comics that are not even
now.
that famous that have like Matt Edgar, very funny guy. Love him. The Edge.
That's cute.
That's his nickname.
He just plays shitty guitar riffs with way too many effects.
You too. It's not even like because he's offensive. It's just
He drops his album on your phone.
But I don't know who dispenses comedy nicknames and how they're accrued and how, usually.
Do you think there's an official process, or a typical?
Usually it's the press that like bestows you against your will, and then you just run with it or something,
Or like it could be something that's like, you did something wrong, you did something offensive, and then people start calling you that, and then you reclaim it.
Yeah. Adam Sandler, Sandman.
Yeah.
That's not an example of that, but I'm just
Rapist
saying.
Bondar, that'd be
Rapist
good.
Bondar.
Yeah.
Common rapist. I want mine to be something, if I do get a nickname, something like really embarrassing, like the landlord. And then I make it my whole person. I'm like, rent's due. Just really lean in the worst ways.
Y'all know what I always say? Stop ringing my buzzer. What was your nickname when you were little? Did you have one?
I had a racist nicknames because I grew up in Katy, Texas, a suburb of Houston. And so after 9/11, where I was 7 when 9/11 happened.
They called you Muhammad Atta.
I was basically Aladdin all the time. Haji.
Haji from Johnny Quest?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
Here's what's really funny. The best Romanian soccer player of all time is also named Haji, George Haji. But that's not the one. They were calling me Haj, I got some crazy ones. Mooj.
Moosh? What's that for?
Like Mujahideen, which is the
I
early.
like Moosh though. It's kind of cute.
I know, it's kind of, but the way, when you put stank on it, fucking
Yeah, I don't put
Mooj.
stank on it, but
Yeah.
Moosh.
People call me raghead, towelhead. And that's just my dad.
Right.
No.
There was those aren't bad. In my neighborhood, we had 2 kids named Joey,
Yeah.
and one of them was Indian.
Yeah.
So there was Joey, and then there was Brown Joey. That's a true story.
That's not worse than mine. I'm a white guy that they call Aladdin, and
I guess that's true.
I like
You're not
Aladdin.
even.
that's
What's
me if I had a
wrong with Aladdin?
genie.
I think Hodge is actually cool too.
But everybody liked Aladdin.
Yeah.
I
Aladdin's a good
suppose,
one.
yeah, but it wasn't it wasn't like, hey, my best friend Aladdin was, it was like a
Right.
derogatory
No.
sort of.
Men are so mean. Boys are so mean to each other.
Yeah.
I don't even.
It's a young man's.
It was
love
just funny
language, though.
because my parents came over here hoping to be Islamophobic. They're like, finally, a country where we're on top because we're all white, and then it's
Yeah.
like, Osama saw to that. It's over.
Yeah.
Everyone that white people couldn't identify immediately, you're like, you're a
Suspect.
terrorist.
Yeah. Interesting.
Terrorist, I think, was the most common nickname I got.
Terrorist. Yeah.
Even up to like, I think
But
one.
see, you don't look like a terrorist to me.
Thank
know
you.
what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I do look a little Jewish.
Yeah, in that direction.
That's a more modern terror joke.
No.
Did you
No,
have
I
any
never
nicknames?
looked.
If you were wearing something,
Maybe here's what it is. I don't look necessarily brown, or
Right.
but if I'm around the right group of white people and I go, I'm white, they like start laughing and they're like, no, you're not. It's
Right.
not this.
not the same.
You're not Mitt Romney
I call y'all
white.
off-white.
Off-white is a great. Yeah,
I
we're
think that's like all the Eastern Europeans even.
we're the last little subset of white before it starts to get to Asia.
Right, exactly. It's not, you're borderline people. That's how I think of it.
Borderline people sounds hilarious.
Cue up Madonna. Over the borderline.
Well, almost, even the name Slavic, I don't think it's necessarily derived from this, but we were the one group, the biggest group of white people that were slaves, that
Right.
were sold as slaves, and we were just really good at it. We like didn't mind being, we're like, I mean, life is bad, get killed, but just get your dick sucked every now and again. You must smoke cigarette, like.
Yeah.
Like we made the
toasted.
best of it, but I mean, it wasn't good at all, and our lifespans were like 27 years old or something. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
I don't think it's a better thing to be white, but I do notice that when like a lot of comics will get on stage and say, "I know I don't look white, but," and I'm like, "What's white people?"
Talking about me.
or they're like,
Look at him. Yeah, he is half Mexican, speaks Spanish. He's like involved.
I don't.
in-
that.
No
Wait.
sabe. No, I don't speak Spanish.
Then how come we were laughing at all those racist jokes together?
I was Google Translate.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant tiendo, brother.
Well, so there's the people who don't look non-white, but then there's also the people who are like, "I know I look white, but I'm actually." This and that."
Yeah.
And I'm always like, "You don't look white." No one thinks. No one is mistaking you for white.
interesting.
Although it's like a lot of Latin. What are we supposed to say? Type people. You know what I mean? The whole
Criminals.
no, but the ones from
Latinos.
Spain or
Latinos.
Mexico or
Hispanics or
Honduras
Latinos, whatever you
yeah.
wanna
But
call
someone said Hispanic is no good because that was a weird thing that when they were doing census stuff.
I don't care.
I'm just saying. that's why I'm being like,
Yeah,
all
somebody
know.
I don't know
completely
what actually-
uninvolved with the culture doesn't care. Just by the way.
That's not true. I'm the easternmost Latin culture
So you're
that you
Latin
can get.
too.
I speak a Romance language.
Do you get to vote on the linguistically question?
Yeah, not only a little bit culturally. We're way more culturally Slavic than anything else. But like, yeah, we do. We still have some leftover stuff.
You're claiming to be a little Hispanic.
I'm not claiming that. That's what Romanians claim, or not Hispanic, Latino.
Latino. Does that mean
Yeah.
you guys get to vote on the Latinx question, the Latinx question?
Yeah, Latinx. We should get rid of it.
No, I think Latin is Latin America. Hispanic is any Spanish-speaking country.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
they
So,
said,
so
but-
whatever. I mixed
But
them up.
apparently it was a term that annoyed people because it was like a weird census term that
Yeah.
didn't really make sense.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
point being, yeah, a lot of people of various kind of Spanish or whatever descents will say like, I know I look white, but I'm like, I just like white people don't consider Latin people white.
White people
or
barely consider anyone
Iranian
white.
people. I remember an Iranian. Yeah, exactly.
But Iranians they're a technical white.
They're
They're
technical white.
Caucasian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like no one cares. And then if you yeah, we didn't even let the Irish in to the white club. And when I say that as a part Irish probably person.
So
but, like,
you're like you love the one drop rule and like the old school, like this is how it was, racism.
it's not a wrench. I just think it's like the colors mix around in different ways because of patterns. And like I'm not a big fan of white people in particular, you know, or like whatever. I mean, sometimes my skin is a nice color,
That's
but
funny.
otherwise,
I thought you were showing your tattoo. I'm like, see.
if I get a tan,
It's just this.
if I get a tan, then I look nice, like right.
True,
but
true.
then I don't like the underlying skin tones. Like next to my
But
girlfriend.
look, you are a mix of all the top like creme de la creme whites.
Oh well.
You're literally like all
Canadian.
What can you
No,
say?
she's every type of Anglo-Saxon. I asked her in Ross. I was like, so let's get down to business. Like, give me your ethnicity by percentage.
Yeah, yeah. My 23andMe is just like English and Irish 50%, and then after that it's French, Spanish, German, Dutch, Scandinavian.
Oh yeah, the heavy hitters.
Literally, yeah.
It's a murderer's row of whites.
That's the Golden State Warriors.
Well, I have
That is the
pretty
Mount Rushmore
eyes.
of whites, aka
But
Mount Rushmore.
I mean, I don't know. Isn't this like a creepy way for colors to be? I don't think it's. I like Asians have much better underlying skin tones. This is so pink.
Asians have like a nicer white than
They're
white
so
people.
golden.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're creamy.
Great take. Asians have a nicer white
Yeah.
than white people.
Absolutely. That's
I
why
love
they
that.
want to be light
You heard
skinned
it
and
here
we like being
first,
dark
folks.
skinned. Like
You heard it here first.
Radu and I were talking about this earlier. Like white people are the only people on the planet who want to be darker. We want to be tan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it's prized
Yeah.
to be lighter. So when Asians are light, that makes them look pretty and young and rich, and so they don't want to be dark at all. And like in here, I want my girlfriend to get a tan because I want her to be even darker than. But
Everyone
yeah,
else is more colorist
but
internally.
They're
White
golden
people are less racist in that one way.
in that one way. Well, my point is just it's time to do topsy turvy stuff on like how we think about race. Like there are people who are like abolish whites, and I assume they don't mean like let's do a genocide. Some of them do, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But there are some people. I think when they say abolish whiteness, I think they're on the same page as me, where I say we need to rebrand purposefully to not be white because white is like archetypally like good and clean and pure. You know what I mean? And so then if you call yourselves white, especially as opposed to black, like it has that
Yeah.
built in. So I think we just go wheat.
Yeah.
It annoys all the gluten-free people that we already don't like, right? And then
It's not
more
rye.
accurate.
That's
It's
wheat.
not right. It's wheat. It is. It's wheat. It's like embarrassing. It's not the best
It's
hue.
peach.
It'll humble us a little. Yeah, there's peach.
Yeah.
But we have to pick one. And my point is like, okay, white supremacy sounds like a thing. Wheat supremacy does not.
Sounds
So-
like a cereal.
Exactly. It's a high protein cereal that comes out.
It's fortified.
Wheat supremacy is a fun idea for something.
That
yeah.
is a punchline to a really stupid joke.
Yeah. I can't wait to steal it.
But yeah.
That's a glasses push joke. Yeah, we call that wheat supremacy.
Boing.
But yeah, but so then we were talking about how it's like the best skin color I think is golden. I don't care what ethnicity you are, but it's like we
It's
just
so
want
good.
people to be, you want people to be all
everyone can
golden.
get
Bronze, like a Brazilian
Bronze.
Everyone
color.
can get
Oh
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone, yeah. We just need to mix a little more, get everyone a little more golden. Not like everyone talks about. It's like no, it's the golden skin that we're all trying to get to.
Yeah.
That should be the gold
Bruno
standard.
Mars.
The gold standard.
Like money should be like, backed by hot mulatto people. Also, it shouldn't be old white people on the money. It should be hot bitches on the money.
hot,
That would be
probably
better.
Brazilian.
That would stimulate my economy.
They tried to put Harriet Tubman on there, and everybody was like,
Should have picked someone hot. Should have picked someone hot. Someone we wanted to see more.
"We did have a
often.
Sacagawea dollar.
Yeah.
That's
hard-
probably as hot as money got."
It was
Yeah.
Right? There was Susan B. Anthony and then Sacagawea. There's a stark contrast in sex.
Yeah.
Have you looked at any of the quarters lately? Maybe they're putting hot women on them now. We're not even noticing anymore.
I have noticed that like the backs of quarters are changing again. Like
All the
remember
time.
when the new states quarters dropped and it was like a big deal because
That's
they're
such
not
a
doing
big deal.
They
It was
ran
a
out of
huge
that.
cultural thing.
They've done it like every location of.
Yeah, they're doing just like random shit now. It'll be like, you know, the CVS on the corner of you know, Hollywood High School, that famous skate spot.
So put more hot women on while you're at
Yeah, they'll
it.
just
Dude, there's
show
one
you.
that has the mothership on it.
No, shut up. That'd be funny. But there are some that's like
It flashes the Ritz.
there's some that's just like a
Maybe
random.
They'll let people start like paying to have their mothership. Rogan will do that. He didn't do a NFT. God bless him, but or a coin
That would be funny
or a meme coin.
if the crypto bros are like, I'm not into crypto anymore. I'm into flattening pennies and making them into like a special, unique. Dude, it's a token. We're tokenizing money, and it's backed by real
This
money.
is one of 100.
This is
I mean, they already do that. Trump has coins,
everybody has coins. That's. Do you think
coins and meme coins.
is this a one-off or is this the precedent now where the president we would be like
Everyone.
they're gonna have a little bit of a grip. They're all gonna have their own coins.
Would anyone have bought a Biden coin? Like 38.
There,
people.
that's the thing is
There
there
would have
was
been people.
there was
There would have been
there
people.
was Biden coins, but they were like fuck Biden coin, suck Biden dick coin. They were like come dick fuck.
Yeah. People bought them. Yeah.
I remember I got tips from my friend Danny, who's like very racist. He's like the only like Nazi that I know. Like it's self-avowed, I guess. You know, like I'm not calling him that, but he would give me really really good crypto advice. So I'm like, I mean, I got
Was it Danny from American History X?
I wish. No, that's not even his real name. That's just a guy that's whatever I know. But then one day he told me after, and I made some good money on a couple of these and told other people about them. But one time he was like, dude, you got to put money in like Michelle Obama as a man coin. I'm like, that was like the line. I was
the
like,
coin.
yeah, I was like, this is so annoying. I was like, I
Right.
can't.
I'm not gonna put.
I was like, even if I make $10,000, I'll feel like a
feel good.
complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know why certain ones I'm like, I don't mind the right.
I don't know if you know this about Radu. He will not make money in nefarious ways. That it's just
He's
it's
known
not
for
part
that.
of who he is.
No, I am a big
has
time.
morals. Yeah.
I'm a big time advocate of like get your money from the streets. Don't be beholden to a boss. Be a criminal.
Just don't touch Michelle Obama.
It's
past
one of,
the line.
dude. I don't know why some of the right wing propaganda stuff or whatever. It's so offensive, not because it's wrong to call someone a man or a woman or
because it's
misgender.
just-
What if she
It's
isn't?
so lazy. It's
Yeah.
so like, and they're like, dude, this is the funniest joke.
Yeah.
To them, they're like, this is a 10 out of 10 joke,
It
and I'm
is
like,
true.
dude,
Big Mike.
yeah, literally over and over and over. It's that and George Floyd and whatever. I'm like, that's what I'm most offended by. Not just like, okay, yeah, it's derogatory. Okay, and also like focusing on a president 2 presidents ago is like, it's very suspicious. It says much more about the people. But
Right.
beyond all the feelings, I'm like, dude, if you guys are like, I have racist friends that are 10 times funnier than whatever's going on. Like,
Yeah, we want the right people to
go
be famous,
go hire a
racist.
roofer and a plumber to.
Yeah, dude, go take a fucking joke writing class and then come back with some
Yeah.
fucking conspiracy theories.
I cannot wait to sell out. I have a bunch of right wing friends that could get me into some of those writers' rooms for like the Blaze and propaganda and whatever. And I'm like, dude, I could do a 10-time better job because I'm not attached to it. I'm not. It's not my feelings.
Right.
What's that one, the Babylon Bee?
Yeah,
You could write
yeah.
for them.
Oh my god, of course.
fun.
The Shitty Onion. I would kill it there.
Yeah.
They have some good ones.
They do actually. Their thing is like they turn some clever ones
Yeah.
because they try to trick a lot of people that don't know what they are. But it is funny when you'll see someone that's not political at all and shares a Babylon Bee thing or whatever, and you're like, oh, you're starting your journey.
Yeah.
Let's check in 10 months from now when your answer to everything is Jews, Jews, Jews.
It's like Greta Thunberg started COVID and they're like, see?
Yeah.
Been telling you.
You know what's funny about Greta? She's like an atheist, right?
Oh, I assume.
She wants to like save the planet because like of her autism told her that that's the best possible. Like, hey, we have to annoy people and whatever. But if she was just like a little girl that's like, God told me to save the world, we'd be
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
we would love her for being a dumbass.
Did you see she was going over to Gaza to try and help fight what's happening
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Did you see how she was getting there?
By a boat.
On a boat.
Well,
Yeah.
because that was
A wind powered boat.
you had
That's
to.
nice.
It was
Bitch, hurry up.
no you
You know how
They
many
kept
kids
their
died because
footprint
you were
low.
late?
I
No, but they
think-
didn't let her in it.
Yeah, they didn't let her
Oh, they didn't let her in?
She couldn't get. Yeah, she couldn't do
And,
anything. It was. I think it was embarrassing or whatever. Like they.
Yeah, she,
Nah.
she also like
Bless her pointed head.
if you went if you went with a motorboat or whatever, you have to like declare that you're coming to like the Coast Guard of different seas and whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
so
if
there
you go wind powered, you can just show up.
I assume that's why I'm talking out my ass here, but I'm assuming why there's no reason why they would have gone slower. You know what I mean? Rather than just like.
Well, I think it was a missions thing. She was trying to like protest while protesting.
Yeah, but there you don't like it's you don't bring it's limited supplies on a boat. You don't like risk your whole shit to be like, well, we can stream 2 more days than if we had a motor. That's not how people think.
Well, I didn't look into the story enough.
I literally saw a headline and then brought that to the table.
That's what you're supposed to do, though. Honestly, what I do is annoying by being informed.
So do you know what happened to the people who showed up trying to help? Because I heard they all just got kind of like told, "Hey, we're not going to let you across," and then it was just kind of awkward.
Yeah, I think so. The danger was that the first group of people, or the first like aid boat that had been sent on that thing, was like bombarded or like it had been blown up. I don't even know if it got arrested. I think it got like actually. So that's why it had to be like, hey, we have to put someone really famous up the ante and say, you really
They thought they were going to care about Greta Thunberg?
I mean, I think in terms of international recognition,
Okay.
who's higher up
They're
there?
not going to, yeah, they're not going to.
You're not getting Obama.
Right.
Does she? I don't even mean to like talk shit about her, but does she have a victory? Like, has she done anything other than her?
Accomplish anything?
Yeah.
Besides turning a lot of people off.
I think. Well, she. I don't think she turned anyone off that was predisposed to get into politics. I think there were people that were like annoyed and were already slanting towards a thing. She has gotten a record amount of people involved in eco-politics. Or whatever. Because basically
that's a victory, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge
So
thing
she has
because
done a lot of awareness
she,
raising.
her, in her perspective is she's racing against the clock.
Yeah.
So she's like, I don't give a fuck if I come off annoying,
Sure.
bitchy, whatever. It's like,
Right.
we have to get to this thing. Otherwise it's doomsday for everybody. And I don't even care if everybody thanks me if we finish the
Right.
thing. It's in my interest to want to succeed. But I think that like people, it's interesting because like Fox News will take her attitude about someone not wanting to put up Christmas stuff in a Starbucks. Like, how dare you?
How?
And then when she does it about like, I think we should all exist, you're like, what a fucking loser, bitch. Know it all, dumbass. Like, I can't wait to kill her when she's 18. Like,
She is.
It's, I know, I'm just making fun of whatever people. Like, it's the strangest phenomenon. It's almost how like during the Trump years, we would like baby Barron. We're like, you shouldn't shit on a kid just because they're associated with their dads.
Yeah.
And then we'd flip the channel and see Honey Boo Boo and be like, I can't wait to strangle her. I hate Honey Boo Boo. She represents everything that's wrong with this. You're like, it's the same exact
Wait, is
thing.
Honey Boo Boo the child or the mom?
She was a child.
As a kid.
Oh, I thought Honey Boo Boo. Oh, okay.
No, that was Mama Jules, something like that.
She died of meth. or
Mama
something.
June.
Or
Yeah.
maybe Honey Boo Boo died. I'm not sure. One of those two.
Maybe they all died of
R.I.P. to one of the greatest American icons of all time. Actually, if Honey Boo Boo was alive, she'd probably be Secretary of State.
People
right now.
hated Honey Boo Boo, and Honey Boo Boo was a child.
That's what I'm
How
saying.
old was Honey Boo Boo?
Like
7.
8.
Yeah.
Oh, they just
9.
hated her.
They hated a child.
I just hated the concept
That
of
was
the show enough
illiterate.
to never watch it, so I don't.
She was like a little bit annoying, but she was honestly a really sweet kid.
Really?
She was a
People hated her.
a
The premise
really
of the show was literally look at how fat and trashy this little kid is.
Yeah, and like her parents
You
kind of
feel sorry for her.
her parents half
first.
exploited her, half like didn't know any better themselves. 'Cause
Right.
they were-
Yeah.
But my thing with, and this is my biggest problem with like liberals, is why I've had a lot of like issue with like adapting to, making political friends here, is that like they really look down on working class people as if they voted themselves into being illiterate and backwards and stupid. And you're
Right.
like, no, that was done to them
Right.
by stuff that you benefit from, you asshole. Like your garden is bigger because you tricked them into getting oil out of their fucking mineral rights. Or, you know what I mean? Like, and there's a humongous disconnect between like, I'm not saying you have to hang out with those people every day, but you have to love them. You
Yeah.
absolutely have to love them and figure out what's in their best interest if you think this country is going to move forward in a positive way. Because the right has figured out a way to lie to them
Right.
against both your interest and theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So get to lying, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm passionate about nothing.
I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at you going, when he pauses, I'm going to go,
Hell yeah, brother. That's crazy.
Hey, man. Truth to power.
I think there is a lot of disdain from the city people toward the country people generally, but a lot of them think that they're just like racist, backwards, bigot, whatever kind of people, homophobes. But all of those people would stop and help you change a tire, and
True.
you know what I mean, would help you help in any way. You know what I mean? They're like good people for the most part.
So they saw your bumper sticker?
No, I mean, I will talk to people who, like on the airplane, I was just talking to a woman who, you know, we're just talking about life. And of course, the fact that I'm gay is not only obvious, but comes up explicitly, you know, and then, you know, I'll say girlfriend or partner or ex-wife or this kind of that. And then at some point late in the conversation, she says something about like, you know, I'm probably the most conservative person you'll ever meet. But, and I've heard that from a number of people who I'm like, are normal people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, even that person was happy to talk to me again. You know what I mean? There's not a scent of like discomfort about it or whatever. Or like I hear people in fucking small towns in North Carolina talking about, I ain't no goddamn liberal, but I'm so glad that these lesbians are having a baby together.
That's how it should be.
I'll marry my Mexican, you know,
It's
teammate if I can get him
irrational.
to stay in the country. And
It's irrational that sexuality is even in politics in the first place. So if it was removed completely, you'd be like, that's how a lot of people, like, be gay, be whatever, I don't care. But like, it's
that's not something we want
economics.
to legislate. Yeah.
Economics is mostly what people focus on.
Exactly.
Culture being legislated through politics is insane. It's really bizarre, and it's
Crazy.
a modern phenomenon. Maybe actually not necessarily modern, but it's always a irrational phenomenon.
Right.
So let's go back real quick. Do you really believe in like a urban rural divide, in terms of like people kind of like hate each other necessarily because of it, or it's hard to like to get along, it's hard to build community, hard to build forward organization or something?
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of misunderstanding, and some people who are very only ever lived in big cities, like just legitimately don't know anybody from outside of big cities, and then they have a real stereotype about, you know,
Of course.
what those people are like, and they think everybody. There's like in a lot of parts of the country, there's a lot more diversity outside of the big cities, or outside, you know, like where people are getting together at church, by the way, like places that are actually very like racially diverse as well as age diverse, and sometimes socioeconomic status as well. Whereas a lot of like liberal city types actually have a lot of homogeny.
Honestly,
And yeah, so
it's the same Joseph over and over again.
yeah, so I just think, you know, a lot of these people want the same things ultimately. Like they don't have all these dumb conservative values that you think they do.
No,
but-
I don't think that either.
No, not you, but you know what I mean. And it could probably be pretty easy if someone just had a good message to get more people from both sides to like do a third vibe. Doesn't even have to be a party at first, you know what I mean? But like something where we can be like, let's all realize that we're all on the same team against the people on the craziest end of things that drive the rest of us crazy.
I think that's a good platform to run on. I'm just putting out a vibe.
Yeah.
These guys over here, they're talking race,
well, there's
religion,
a blue
money.
vibe and a red
There's a
vibe.
blue vibe.
So maybe
I'm just kind of like,
My steering wheel's down the middle, guys. I totally agree. I think
pink.
For the longest time, I think that the urban-rural divide is very manufactured.
Yeah.
For the longest time, both sides saw that it was symbiotic
Yeah.
because
Yin and yang, yeah.
rural people really like watching sports.
Right.
Like they love consuming sports. And you know what you can't have in a fucking bumfuck country-ass town? An 80,000 person stadium that you fill up every week.
Yeah.
That's got to be in a downtown of a city.
Right.
And city people love canned food and beans and whatever,
Food.
all kinds.
Food
Yeah,
in
food in
general.
general.
Right.
And
what's funny about the whole thing, like the whole divide, is that each one of those groups of people, like their home is each other's vacation spot.
Yeah.
You know what I like? People from the
But
city,
not
they go to
anymore.
Vermont. People from small towns, they go to Chicago.
to some degree now, what's happened is, and this is something I can't stop making fun of people for, conservatives are afraid of cities. They're like literally
a lot
like
of them
they're
are.
like I would never go to Dallas. And you're like, what the
You should
fuck
hear
are
people
you
talk
talking-
about
I mean,
New
I
York.
agree with
It's strange. Yeah. Well, Dallas.
But out of
yeah,
fear,
it's
not out of being like it's boring and gay. No, it's fear. It's like an upsetting of like
Or they just feel like they won't have a good time and they won't understand things, and
Some of that
it'll be a
true.
headache about the driving.
I think they're afraid of places like Orlando and like Cincinnati, like
what are
like
they afraid of? Orlando and Cincinnati.
they think MS-13 runs the gangs. They think that like
Really?
cops don't show up to crime. They have all these like fantasies about like, you know, the murder rate is 80% and it's done by 5 guys and we all know what their names are and what, you know, it's like, and to some degree, urban people have similar fears about rural folk. We probably imagine there's some deliverance scenario that happens or whatever, or
I need to watch that movie forever. I hear I'm gonna
It's,
really like it.
Attell has a great joke. He's like, it's my generation's Barbie movie.
Barbie movie, is it?
But yeah, we have like, fears about what happens in the boonies and like, and also maybe not fears, but stereotypes of like, I can go out there and commit like any crime I want on my property and do all kinds of like, we over exaggerate how lawless it could be or whatever. So we both have like, places that come from roots in ignorance. We don't know each other well. And then we fantasize about how bad it could be or whatever. But I think this is the most manufactured time I've seen it. Because in Europe, they're back like 30 years ago. City people love little villages. Little village people love the ability to sell their goods and have more upward mobility, but still maintain their traditions. But now they have Wi-Fi in their villages. Like they love the symbiotic relationship. My grandma was one of the few people that was like a village person. She lived in a city, but she resented it. And she hated modernity. Like in 2003 in her village, they brought plumbing. They were like gonna let everyone have bathrooms, without septic tanks. And she was like, nah, we're not doing that. And I was like, what? Come on, that's the only thing I hate about staying here is like, I don't even need a sink. I just want to, she's like, it's a fad. I don't want to get, I don't want to get used to something. And then 20 years down the line, they get rid of it. I'm like, I promise they're not getting rid of it.
Wow.
Anyway. Yeah, there are a lot of horror movies about like big city folk going into like a small town like The Hills Have Eyes. I've never seen one the opposite where it's like a podunk dude just trying to navigate his way through like Philadelphia.
Is that what George of the Jungle is?
Yeah, he rounds a corner and there's like a dice game and he runs and then he goes another corner and there's like a conversation with more than two people happening. He's
a hooker offering him a menu of items. He's like, I don't fuck up. Yeah, that could be great.
There's not a movie like that.
There should be. I mean, there's a movie from the perspective of a dog coming out. So,
a dog coming out?
Yeah, you haven't seen a dog coming out of the closet. What? Yeah, there's a movie coming out.
Oh, coming out.
That's from the perspective of a dog.
Is Air Bud not from the perspective of a dog?
No, it's the dog.
No, it's like his POV.
Oh,
it's a horror movie. You guys haven't heard of it?
Horror? No.
Yeah,
horror dog.
It's called Good Boy. Yeah.
Oh no, Good Boy.
They killed the dog.
That's my gender expression, and they're gonna kill the dog. Okay, so. You watch yourself as a dog get murdered at some point in this horror movie.
Or fucked.
No, I think the dog watches. I think the dog watches his owner get murdered, and it's just all his. Yeah.
Well, I could take that. Like we just don't want the dog to.
That's
get murdered.
what. Yeah, somebody sent it to me, and they were like, "I think this is up your alley." And I saw it, and I was like, "Murder or horror movie from the perspective of a dog." As someone whose dog died in his arms, I was like, "Why the fuck would you think that this is?"
It's very strange.
For me, and he was like, "No, it's not." That's my first thought too. Is that the dog is?
You didn't love your dog dying.
Yeah.
Was it your favorite part?
Yeah, I'd literally rather watch live footage from the Gaza Strip than watch an animal get harmed.
Dude, my friend was dating this girl. She's a very sweet girl. She was athletic looking, but not like super big or like not softball-y or anything.
Keep going.
And she, I was like, hey, so what do you do for work? And she's like, oh, I go to people's houses and put their dog down, like when they're, about to pass away.
Just all day, every day?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm sorry to be like I never imagined like that's like a job for like a nice, cute young woman. Like I thought that was like a job for like a detective that's like shot too many people and they're like, all right, you can't have a gun. You have to go strangle dogs at like their owner's houses, like, and watch the life go out. And she's like, no, it's really, you have to be really compassionate.
He opens a briefcase. It's just a pillow.
Yeah, it's just it's a pillow and a hammer.
Yeah. Budget cut.
And then she goes, she's like, no, killing the dogs is like the easy part. The hard part is like, talking to the owner and keep holding their hand.
I'm so used to this.
Well, it's like an injection or something, or
I've had to watch a cat die in my arms.
Damn.
He'd had a brain tumor, and we had gotten it removed, and then fed him by hand for weeks, and whatever, and then finally,
Pain and suffering. It's real for animals and humans. Do you have a do not resuscitate limit? Do you have like a place where you're like, hey, if I'm shitting out of my mouth, I don't want to be kept alive?
That's a good line for that. No, I mean, I guess I haven't thought about it, but I guess I'm getting to that age. Thank you. It was just my birthday, so now you've got me thinking about.
But you're only like what, 32, so you don't have to worry
about
that.
Yeah. Should we go for that? Since it's Hollywood, should we go with that?
Well, this is funny. I'm actually 30 years old.
Yeah.
I look 15 years older than you. Like I look like shit.
That's what men do.
It's not just cigarettes. It's also just like bad decisions at every corner.
Well, I'm happy about it because my girlfriend really loves like the older dude kind of look.
He's older than me too.
Are you?
Looks
I'm about to be 37.
Great.
Looks so good for his age. Me, every time people are always like, "You're 30. Can I see your ID?" Like you really
just to check on that.
What's your birthday?
Yeah, but my girlfriend likes older men. I mean, if you will, and then I think as like a dude, like a masculine person, having short hair, it's like so much. It's really cool to have the grays. You're like sophisticated looking.
Salt and pepper.
She says, yeah, salt and pepper. She says, 40 to 60 are like when like the dude gender like really shines and is like in their prime.
Probably.
So, yeah, as like a non-breeder female, these are my years. These are gonna be my.
Non-breeder is very funny. It's like uncircumcised. It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
well, that should be the
The regular.
yeah, the regular.
Right. It's the opposite. No, I mean, I think it's normal enough to be a female who has a kid, but
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
right.
trying to.
You never wanted kids.
Oh, I did. I thought about. I mean, I was raised Mormon. I wanted them for. Like I thought I was going to do it.
I did. I
long time.
Well, if I think I've known you for 10 years. I did not know you were raised Mormon.
Yeah, it comes up randomly.
You from Utah?
No, but everyone asks me that
Texas
as soon as
Mormon,
I say that I'm a Mormon. Yeah,
Texas
I'm from
is
Houston.
Is that number 2?
Well,
Maybe.
it's Texas and Idaho are like between number 2 because they send a lot of missions over there. So it
But there
kinda
are
fluctuates the
Mormons
population.
everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a Mormon. I'm sure there are several Mormon churches in LA.
I grew up with
There.
a close
temple.
friend of mine. His family was Mormon,
Yeah.
and they were the biggest pieces of shit I've ever known.
Really?
Like
That's
just
good,
like
'cause you don't always hear
degenerates.
that. And they were like active Mormons, but just degenerates.
They were like had kind of like slowed down in our high school years, like the whole family did, and then they all the whole family collectively like got
The
back
other-
into it, but
oh.
were raised LDS. But for like a good 10-year stretch, every single one of them
Little
was
dick
addicted to
syndrome?
Vicodin.
Oh, Vicodin.
Vicodin, what was the morphine patches, all that shit. Like
Morphine patch.
No, those are fentanyl patches. Well, I guess
I mean,
they had more. They had morphine first.
yeah, they would take the morphine patch and lick the juice off of it.
So that's their loophole.
Yeah.
Like they don't have vaginal intercourse. They do.
No, that stuff's against the Mormon religion. It's ridiculous.
I know.
But there are
I know.
Mormons who
But
do
what they do is they rationalize. They go, I'm not gonna have
Pharmaceuticals.
vaginal sex. I'll have the butthole sex. So I bet they're doing the same thing. I won't drink, but I'll just have this. What? It's a pill from the doctor.
Yeah.
They
It's a pill from
they
the
drank
doctor.
though, like they were like degenerates.
that's
It was. I mean, they had like
Sorry.
they had like a 10-year stretch that was like a Mormon rum springer.
Yeah.
Like they went buck
Yes,
wild.
you should, maybe.
Yeah,
I want to.
I think rum
10
spring is a
years-
good thing.
10 years might be good. Yeah.
I want to do like how like religions always have offshoots. Baptist, Protestant, whatever. I want to like do my own church. That's like Southern Mormon.
Southern Mormon. That's
Actually,
good.
I want to go Southern Scientologist.
Okay, I like that. Maybe
L.
I'll
Ron
just-
Hubbard's word has been manipulated by these Hollywood boobs. There's a better way, my friends.
This Sea Hog ship is filled with snakes.
And by snakes, I mean I'm holding 2 tiny little Jews.
It's even more fucked up than the original Scientology.
Come on down to Southern Scientology. We ain't gonna y'all.
Who would be the face of Southern Scientology instead of like John Travolta or Tom Cruise? Who
The
would
ghost
be?
of Bernie Mac.
Is that who you're channeling this whole time?
No, that would be a good alive guy. Danny McBride.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm a fucking Scientologist, y'all.
is he Southern?
Yeah, he's from North Carolina.
Okay.
Oh, that's one of the good
born in
ones.
Georgia, but I think mostly works and gets
Which
people
one's
to.
Danny McBride?
He
did,
did 70s show guy who's in
No,
prison
no,
right now.
no.
Oh, I'm thinking of Danny.
Eastbound and Down.
Oh, okay.
And
But he's not. I was thinking of Hyde from that 70s
Yeah, you're
show.
thinking of Danny Mackles or whatever his name is.
Honest mistake. That's a very honest mistake.
Danny McBride. I haven't seen these meet what.
He's
Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones.
I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard it's good.
What's it?
Promise I'll
Pineapple
watch it.
Express.
I did see that.
What
Who
is
is
his
he
role
in?
in Pineapple Express? I forget what he's.
It's a drug dealer.
Yeah, he's one of the drug dealer guys.
Got it.
Anyway, you know
I just know
him.
that name, and I know
you,
that
you
name.
definitely know
I'm
him.
good at-
This bit's ran its course. That's
Yeah,
what
but it was fun. I'm sure it was funny. I wish I
if we can think of any great spokespeople for Southern Scientology, we'll obviously come back because we have 4 more hours on the so we have a lot of air to fill.
Oh yeah.
And I do have to pee really bad.
You can take. I
There's a
mean,
bathroom right here.
we can. Me and Channing can keep the vibe going. We could take a break. There's no rules. Actually, well, there was one rule with the sponsors.
Let's actually take a break so I can go check on the cat and make sure she's breathing.
And we're breaking.
And we're back on
Haters.
Today we're talking about the global phenomenon that is genocide. Genocide sweeping the nation.
And you can get in on callsheet.com. Now, as we know, with the recent Gaza West Bank occupation, nobody has a good number of the civilian death count. The IDF can tell you how many terrorists they've killed, but nobody has come out with a number of civilians. Well, we have the first money line.
You're going to get a Polymarket link in your inbox.
Do you love over-unders?
Do you love a parlay?
Do you? Yeah. Wow, a Palestinian People's Parlay?
What's the civilian over under?
In the Gaza genocide situation, there is no official death count of civilians. Israel has presented just a number of terrorists they've killed. And so we here from our sponsors at callshe.com present the first over-under money line where if you really want to do a Palestine People's Parlay, you can get in. It's essentially the same bid I was doing 2 minutes ago, but at a whisper level. Just so you know, I can throw a baseball from any level of pitch. I can do a curveball, a sinker, a fat ball, a suck ball.
I like a fat ball.
I can do a fat suck ball, a tuck ball, a junk ball. That would be so funny. Just a guy who's like, you're not allowed to pitch because of what you call those pitches. In the first 20 or 30 years of baseball, the biggest cheat code, the biggest advantage, it was literally a spitball. Guys would spit all over the ball, and it would just be covered in mucus and loogies and whatever.
Do you want these? Oh, what the fuck am I?
They're Delta 8?
Delta 9?
Oh, they're real.
I've had them for so long. And I think I took some while I was on.
Where did you get these from? These are from
in Austin, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say these are from a legal state because they're Delta 9 gummies that are made from.
This is a QVC podcast now.
Yeah. What does QVC stand for in our scenario? Queers versus Christians. The ultimate shopping
Have I been
experience.
blocking you this whole time with this?
I've been.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead and do your pitch, Radu.
Because I wanted to be away from
If you see at the bottom
comprende.
here, I don't know if you can zoom in ever. We'll do it in post. It says made from less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC. So this is Delta 9 that is extracted from hemp quality cannabis, which is not smokable. It's not what you smoke to get high. It's what you use to make rope and shirts and I don't know, products. And they extracted so much THC out of it that they were able to, so much chemicals. It's a very stupid process. It's a workaround that they do in all the states that don't have legal weed, like Texas. But it's so funny that they're like, yeah, we don't want a lab tested, actual safe product. We'd rather just have this weird
scientific Frankenstein.
It's like if you were able to absorb in a dry county, like a place that didn't sell alcohol. You're like, well, we didn't make alcohol. We just used we used gasoline to extract alcohol out of strawberries.
Right.
And you're like, do you feel good about that? You feel better about this weird,
I know. Obviously, I wish we could have the real stuff, but apparently, I think they're getting rid of that August 31st. We're losing all this stuff.
It's a new. Is it full? The Senate and the House. Texas has been vying to look like it's gonna ban weed or whatever. But I think they're doing it the way that the Cowboys pretend that they're gonna sell one of their players. They're just they want to be in the news because they're doing other devious shit on the down low, and they're not gonna get rid. Weed is so popular. Even neo-Nazis love weed, dude. There's
yeah.
I've seen more leftists and liberals making arguments against over drug overuse or whatever. But right wing people they fucking love drugs.
Yeah, well, there was a notice up at the bodega that said August 31st, but maybe they're just trying to push their.
It's happened a few times.
Vapes.
So I've seen it go back and forth. I've seen the funniest one.
Oh, I think we're losing vapes of all kinds.
Ooh, in
on,
Texas?
31st.
The Freedom State?
Yeah, I know.
That might just be the whole country. I've been having lived in Texas most of my life. I've watched the Texas lose 19 different things or whatever, and they're like, ain't nothing freer than God's country. I'm like, you can't even get a fucking pink cigarette here, dude.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on with 6th Street right now? Because the last time I was there was they were getting rid of a ton of businesses that were down there, and they were posting those signs that was new 6th Street is going to be old 6th Street.
Yeah, that was weird. Basically, it used to be that they would close off the street so you couldn't drive through 6th Street at night, and then they just put up little things so that you can drive through but not hit pedestrians. So that seems to be the biggest change. But yeah, there's some businesses that are gone. We'll see.
Wait, people can.
What were those signs though?
During the weekend now, people can drive through that shit.
6th Street. I mean, it's incredibly slow. But
wow, my whole
for a lot
life,
of it.
that was one of the worst parts about Austin is that, it's fun if you've never been to go down there and do whatever, but it's a city made for way less people than it currently has, like a third of the amount of people, and it blossoms so quickly. And then every single weekend, and sometimes even Thursdays or whatever,
Right, Thursdays too.
they would shut down this main artery of downtown.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, this
sucks.
can't be like, you gotta put this outside of the city, put this like 30 minutes away or whatever. And I mean, like in any scenario where you're like, you're gonna deal with the traffic. If something's good enough, you're gonna deal with the bullshit of it. And Austin really, for the longest time, I think was super, super worth it.
It was fun to. I mean, even if you're not the kind of person who wants to go out and drink and be young and ridiculous, like
No,
on
I
6th
did.
Street,
I had fun sober.
It was fun just doing comedy shows in 6th Street area now, and then walking around that, like having that, and just and people were doing man on the street interviews and things. Like I think it's kind of a bummer to lose it.
Yo, what's your body count, bitch? That's what every single one is.
That's all of it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually saw one of my friends, dude.
Hey, what are your red flags?
If he has a foreskin.
They have no idea what a foreskin is.
The foreskin is pretty gross.
Come on.
One of my
You know what room you're in right now?
Yeah, you're really outnumbered.
Happy
Actually,
foreskin.
all three of us are uncircumcised here.
That you know of.
You're not African.
She starts clicking.
I did it.
We were running to the
self.
same joke.
Yeah, I do think it's gross though. I was watching that Naked British show, and I was seeing y'all's foreskins. It was gross. They're
The
all
one where they
lopsided.
start off looking at dicks and vaginas?
Yeah, okay, that show's crazy because you either get 6 men behind things or 6 women behind things. Or I think they've done bi people where
Yeah.
there's 3 of each. And then so at first you just see their like waist down. And then you get to get rid of one person, and then you see chest down, you get rid of one more. Then you see their face, you get rid of one more. Then you hear their voices, you get rid of one. But
It's
I'm
like Finnish baseball. They start at home plate.
I think they need to start with like 99 people, then show just first their feet. And I would be like, no. Then we can go to knees.
Unacceptable.
I can get rid of, you know what I mean? That should be, starting with all the way, not just genitals and down, but you can see like whether they have a muffin top or not. You know, you can see so much.
It's a really wild show because they paint it like it should be on PBS, like the way they're
Right.
talking. It's like, look at that little fold right there. He's got a little bit extra, doesn't he? And they're like, yeah, but I quite like that. I'm quite keen on that sort of thing, ain't I?
Yeah, it helps
And
it's
like
British.
the amount of, or the lack of personal grooming that people have when they know that their fucking snatch is
Going
going to be
on
on
TV.
HD. Yeah.
And the women are so sweet. They're
It's
never
always-
like, what the fuck is wrong with his genital
Yeah, it's
head?
never
Why would
crazy.
he
It's always
design
like-
it? He knew it would be. Yeah, they never say anything.
And then sometimes you'll get surprised, like you'll have like a fucking monster hawk.
Yeah.
Like this thing looks like it has an elbow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you'll get just like a little less than average guy, and they're like, but that's a little bit more my speed.
That's
ain't
more
it?
my
Yeah.
real.
And they're like, yeah, but don't you want to just like, you never wanted to take a ride in a monster truck?
Probably already has.
That's the only-
You don't
Yeah.
have to be a pro
Yeah.
driver, but
That's
you don't
the
want to do a
only-
lap.
That's the only real answer. She's like, no, I have a on the field injury.
Right.
I had to
Learn
see
my
Kobe's
lesson.
doctor for that.
Yeah, but they're gross. And then the foreskin hanging down.
It is.
not-
It's
it's
ugly.
gross.
It's not.
Sometimes
Exactly.
foreskin is horrible, but it's look, it's natural. It's
Probably
that's-
some
that's-
are better. I've seen some where it's like even and it's okay.
Let's just
But
be
the
honest.
One where it's
Two things. All penises weird looking.
Weird looking.
Two, what do you care? You're not in that game. That's not your.
I just care. I just want the world to look better.
That's okay. That's fine to have a fashion, a
utilitarian
fashion
feeling.
police
Feeling.
opinion on
Yeah, it's a
TV.
fashion thing. It's just in bad taste. Especially if yours is, I would say that if you have uneven skin, get circumcised. If it's even, fine.
It would be funny to get your foreskin evened out.
Yeah.
Don't get
Why is that
circumcised.
funny?
Don't get
Women do shit
circumcised.
like that all the time. Women are
Yeah, women have to have their. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
making
true.
them small again, whatever. Yeah, have the men make theirs look nicer.
They should call it a labotomy. I know they have a better word for it. Yeah, I got my bitch labotomized. She shuts up.
It's a nice way to say that you carved up your wife's pussy.
I mean,
got
most
my
women
bitch
want that
labotomy.
too. A lot of women want that too, I would say.
I know,
You
they-
the
they
women get
self-
very insecure about their labia.
They self-convert to African religion.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a different.
It's a Zulu.
I did think some women you could probably lose a little of the hood, like not the clit the
Sure,
way they do
of
it, but a
course.
little of the hood. Some women probably.
But I think it's also you risk losing feeling and neurons.
Oh, absolutely. You got to be real careful
Which is the main thing for men too. I feel bad for these guys.
when they botch it.
Yeah, I'm
It's-
like, I meet guys who are circumcised and they're like, yeah, I bust quick. I'm like, can you imagine what would happen if you were natural, bro? You would come in your pants from looking at people. you would be a danger out here. Like,
Right. I think that's why maybe some older women in a village at one point were the ones who like were like, hey guys, God says you guys should be, maybe back when it was a matriarch, women actually started that kind of thing. And they were like, you know what? It's actually better for these boys if they are desensitized because they're all busting too quick. You know what I mean? So like we're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
there's only a few countries where being circumcised as a male is the majority thing.
Yeah.
It's like when you got to neuter a puppy.
Yeah,
we got to do something about it.
Israel, funny. Israel does not have as high rates as Pakistan. Pakistan has the highest rate of circumcision at 97%.
Yeah.
They really love it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they don't even have a covenant with God about it. They're just like,
It's just fashion.
Yeah.
They get it.
It says Aldi on the side.
In the U.S., you know why the U.S. is so big on circumcision?
Yeah, because of that anti-masturbation feelings.
The guy that, invented cornflakes.
Kellogg's. There's a Kellogg's guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the Kellogg guy.
He was, you know how they hated sex and masturbation back then. Supposedly, he was plagued by his own desire to masturbate, and he thought that
he was probably gay. I think he'd only had sex with his wife.
Yeah, he's also thinking about the wrong stuff.
He only had sex with his wife for child making purposes. Like he was with her.
Very gay.
So he was jerking off while thinking about people doing stuff to him.
But what does the foreskin have to do with that?
He thought
if you associate pain with the dick, then you won't think to jerk off.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing electroshock therapy type shit.
Yeah, so like just one and done as a baby, like early.
Yeah, and well, he wasn't even necessarily advocating it just for babies. He was advocating it. He's like, hey, if you got a kid that won't stop jerking off, go ahead and take a little bit
skin off.
But my joke, my hacky joke is
weird.
like, you can't with boys, you can't like make them stop masturbating by cutting, and you got to take the whole dick off. Like, if you want, there's no way.
I have cranked it through so much pain. I've rubbed skin off the side of my penis recently.
The doctor's
and
like,
then went, there's so much more.
The doctor's
left.
like, you should not do. You're like, but what happens if, let's say, an emergency broke out? Right?
Yeah.
Let's say it's been like 3 days. Come on, doc.
Okay, so there was a Mormon boy who seemed very what we would call Peter priesthood, very like doing all of the stuff, came from one of those good Mormon families with 7 kids and was very, just seemed like he hadn't sinned much, Sure. And so I asked him when he was 16 if like he had ever jerked off. And he swore he hadn't. And so I'm like, do we believe is it possible? Like if you just.
It is possible. I'll say
start.
this. I have met, I think, at least people who claim it.
Yeah.
I've met a few.
Yeah.
Who claimed that actually, this is a hilarious one. A guy that I don't know if you know, this is comedian Alex Dragievich. He, I don't think, jerked off until he was 18. And he played NCAA basketball. He was a starter for Notre Dame.
Yeah. Wow.
And the first time he ever like ejaculated in any way was when he went to a strip club that his like friend's dad took them to and paid for a hooker or whatever. That was his first, not just first sexual experience, first time cum came out of him. And he was like, oh, so it can happen. He told the story on a podcast, so I'm not talking out of class, but that's why I'm saying it's believable. It's not plausible.
But I guess if you never start.
It's not if that's the only way, if you never start.
Yeah.
Because I asked most of my male friends, I'm like, so since you started, how many days have you missed? I'm like, only the ones I was in a coma,
Y'all masturbate every day or cum at least every day?
Usually.
Yeah.
Not anymore. But yeah, there was a period. Yeah.
You're old, fat. You're not 30.
It's not even just that. It's I take opiates, so they make the dick.
Yeah.
You could jerk off, but nothing's gonna come out. It's not finished in time.
Gotcha.
It's
I
the
think
opposite.
it's gross when stem comes out of y'all's dicks anyway, so.
It's pretty nasty.
Gross. I hear it's gross. I hear it
Cum?
doesn't, it doesn't wash off things well. And
You gotta use cold water. Everyone thinks you gotta use hot water. Hot water makes it coagulate instantly, turn into a gel and a trap.
Okay.
You'd have to use bar soap to get it off. Body wash doesn't work. Yeah.
I hope I never run into this, but good to know in case I do.
Lady cum was funny. It's like, it's so nice and pure, and everyone's like, is it piss?
Right.
Is that piss? You're like, no, it's a nice thing. It's a bouquet. And you're like, I'm pretty sure that's piss.
They taste the same.
Yeah. I thought about, because I was thinking about the other day that if male, what they say that if they gather the squirting juices, some of the constituent parts of the squirt is the same stuff that's in pee, right? That like
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlap.
Same makeup.
And I'm like, have we tested men's cum to
Yeah,
see if some
pre-cum.
of that's pee too? Like,
It's shit, actually.
no shit. So
There has to be a little bit of pee in
right,
cum, right?
there's a little bit
has
of pee
to
in
be,
everything.
yeah.
Sure.
right?
It has to be.
I would assume.
Yeah. And I always...
That's like, you know, when you get like at the soda fountain and it's got lemonade and then
Yes.
water, you're getting a little bit of
getting a
lemonade in your water.
lemonade,
Yes.
yeah. And I've always heard if you can't pull out, if you finish someone, you should piss inside there and it'll rotten up the...
Yeah, I think everyone's peeing.
You guys don't use the Pasteur method, the pasteurization? You never heard of it? All right.
No, I know my shit's no good.
Not a science crowd. My favorite thing is to turn to an audience that's not there.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right, folks?
It's great. They're there.
Comedy Union, how do we feel?
What's Comedy Union?
The
Like
idea
having
that
one?
the idea that comics are the last show business group that don't have a syndicate or collective bargaining of any kind, and we should.
Wasn't there a union in the 80s?
I'm glad you asked, Channing. There was a thing called Comedians for Pay, which was a union specifically organized at the Comedy Store in 1979. Famously, Jay Leno and David Letterman were a part of it, and Jay Leno pretended to get hit by a car that was owned by the Comedy Store to help the negotiations get along.
So he didn't do it, but he volunteered to do it, or
No,
did
he faked. He did. He ran up to the car, hit it with his hand. He was like, "Oh, they hit me. They did his whole." Which, by the way, I think Jay just has been getting hit by vehicles and cars. His
That
whole
car is
life.
famously in his garage now.
But it was a big deal. Gary Shandling was a scab. He joined the union for a month, and then he was like, "All right, fellas, you guys figure it out. I want to go do spots. I'm bored." You know, there was people. It was very divisive. My friend Andy Huggins, who is blowing the fuck up right now because of Don't Tell. He
That old guy?
Yeah, that old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He left LA in the 80s. Bill Hicks convinced him to go to Houston because there was more stage time. And I think part of it was, one, he lost his driver's license driving drunk on the wrong side of the highway. The other part was, at that time, there were so few comics that being a scab, I think, affected you in many, many ways down the line. And he told me, and he had a good reason for it. He's like, I had just gotten past like 5 months before the strike. So if I started, going out there and whatever, I would never get booked again. I'm like, that's probably true.
Yeah.
There was a guy famously, Steve Lubekin, who he wasn't that famous, wasn't that in. It broke Mitzi's heart that he went across the picket line, and she never booked him again. And a few months or so after, when he realized he was never going to work this store again, he threw himself off
the Ondas. Yeah.
and killed himself. And he, had finally a good
Hero
way out
of
of
mine.
comedy. Honestly, a hero. But yeah, I think it was a very controversial thing at the time, because there was people who were like, listen, I understand you're gonna have to scab, or maybe you have money, whatever, but like, if we don't do this now, we will not ever get paid.
right?
And the precedent that they set, the deal that they set in 1979 is still, with a little bit of modifications, is still what you get paid at the Comedy Store today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in effect, the Laugh Factory heard about the strike and immediately started paying comics what the union was asking. So it didn't even just positively affect one business. It affected a lot of people. Right. The Improv started paying. Everyone eventually was like, oh, okay, I guess this is what the standard is. New York had a union in 2003 as well. But that one wasn't a legal union. That one was like a quick, like, hey, you know what? We're going to do this sort of like fuck around thing. At least that's my understanding of it. Very little is written about this. Very little.
So it didn't last long or have much effect?
It didn't need to, it did have a huge effect.
Oh.
It established the spot pay that is still the standard
In
pay in New York
2003.
today. Yeah.
Okay.
But basically they weren't getting enough money. Nobody was like really giving them the right kind of like, they were like, yeah, we'll figure this out at some point or whatever. And they established like a group of around 200 or 300 comics and formed like an informal union. They're like, here's the deal. We're just going to stop working.
Yeah.
We're just going to strike and see who's still in business. Because they understood that these fucking comedy rooms, even though they make a lot of money, like they can't afford to go 4 or 5 days in a row without work. You know what I mean? Like it's curtains.
It's so funny to think that like we'll show them. We'll stop doing stand up.
Yeah.
The sun's gonna come out tomorrow. Nobody gives a fucking
Well,
shit. if
sure, it's
stand-up
true, but
goes
for,
away.
it's not about that. It's like for these clubs, they'd have to book.
It hurts the clubs, yeah, but
They
like
have to book the bottom of the barrel guys, and that's worse than not having someone to book, because people are not going to come back if they spend $80, like 2 drinks and like the tickets and whatever at the world famous comedy store or the cellar, and it's a dog shit product. You're like, I think I might not like stand up at all.
Did
Like,
you ever go to the Comedy Store during the dark days, like those like mid 2000s?
I never caught that. No, but
Fuck.
you said
before,
you did.
Before I did stand up.
That
Before
was
I
like when
even
people
doing comedy.
thought it was a museum.
Yeah, I went and I saw a show in the main room and was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, and it probably put you off comedy for a while. Like,
yeah, I stuck around at the Groundlings an extra 3 years because of that, probably. But yeah, I mean, it was fucking bad.
So, do you think we should have a union and go on strike? What do you think it should look
Yeah,
like?
what's your scheme? What are you cooking up?
I think so. What the reason I like just verbally diarrheaed all about this fucking thing, and sorry it wasn't funny, but like at the very least, I think we need everybody to know that these things happened before.
Yeah.
Because usually when I talk to people about a comedy union, the first thing they go is like, it could never happen.
Yeah, people tell me that too. Yeah.
Comics could never work together in this way or whatever. Like they're too stupid. They're too like they were crabs in a bucket, too opportunistic, or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And as true as that is, they also said that in 1936 about actors. But you know what they were saying? They were going even harder. They're like, these actors are fucking mentally reduced. They can't even think they need words written for them to think. You think they're going to bargain together? And now it's one of America's most famous unions with incredible power to the point where maybe it's like it even helped fuck up the industry to some degree, right? Because it has too much potential power. But
how would you set the standard for getting into the union though? Like what would be your Taft-Hartley?
I don't like to have what my qualification is. I do think it should be a democratic process. As many people that have a foot in the game should come together, vote on stuff, put proposals together. Now, if someone's like, no, you're the one who brought this up, you got to give me something. Like, it's got to be people working.
Yeah.
Working. What that means is even that is up to interpretation. But like working A rooms, generally on the road. So like I might not even qualify for union membership. It's got to be people that can demonstrate a certain amount of economic activity.
Sure, yeah.
Now, what's different about the 79 union is that they weren't all making necessarily big money. Some of them, actually, they were literally getting paid nothing. And so they were starting that union against a collective employer that's not paying you at all was a big risk. Yeah. So you could do it in a bunch of different ways. I don't know. I do think that you could have tiered levels where you're like, I think everybody that wants to be a part of it should be able to have, some voting capacity, some whatever. And then once you're actually dues paying or whatever, but I also think that there's, aside from who can be in it, I think what are the benefits? What do you guys think would be like, besides just money? Think about how many problems there are in stand-up or in the organization of stand-up where people say we don't have an HR system. We don't have any ways to deal with joke theft or organizing jokes or looking at like, hey, is there any way to register that or something? Which the WGA does. They have their own. Yeah,
their own HR.
Not necessarily HR. I mean, they do actually both of the unions. I'm sorry, we're not funning it up over here, but they both have like if you get sexually harassed by someone, you can go report them to either your agency manager or also the union. It doesn't mean anything's gonna fucking happen.
Yeah,
but it is more of a process than we have in stand up. Like, what am I supposed to call?
Yeah,
Louis C.K. There's no answer. There's no.
I want to be HR.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be a busy office.
I don't necessarily think even HR is the thing that's like the most.
We need a lot of things.
Pertinent. We need a lot of things, but like the idea that like a small town person can copyright their joke or whatever, it ends up in, let's say Ralphie Mays, because he's dead, so I'm gonna use an example. Like Ralphie Mays' next special, and it doesn't mean that Ralphie Mays is a joke thief. It's just that he didn't do his due diligence to double check, and now he owes that kid royalties or whatever. Yeah. Boom. Now you're creating a process for people to be able to earn a living without having to necessarily be famous headliners.
Yeah, if the famous people want our jokes, they got to pay us for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can get residuals.
Yeah.
Right now they do that, but only with their own openers or if a famous person, like right now, if any famous person wanted to steal one of your jokes, there's nothing you could do about it. You could make a couple videos and do whatever. Right. There's no club that's not going to work them because they make them fucking $250,000 a weekend or something. There's no group of people that's not going to put them on TV. You have nothing. If a famous person steals your joke, they could even come to your face and be like, "Yeah, I took it. What are you going to do? Call the cops?
Yeah.
Tell the police I stole your joke." Like, have fun with that. So that's why I'm like, think about all of the benefits that a centralized group, the Funny Actors Guild, I would call it.
I love that.
Great acronym.
That's perfect.
But it's just, there's so many benefits. I don't know who exactly would be the qualifier to join. I think, again, that's up to the people that have a stake in it,
Yeah. All right, I'm in. I've been saying we need it, but I don't want to organize it. So you do that.
I think that's going to be my legacy, is being the comedy's last union leader.
Yeah, third and done. All right.
Well, there's the guys are still alive. I'm really interested. I'm going to do a fucking interview with the guys. Tom Dreesen lives here. He's 90 years old.
Nice.
He's a registered Republican. I think he's been a Republican his whole life.
I'm not joking. I think he was on that show in the main room at the Comedy Store that I saw. I'm not fucking.
Like
I
20
swear
years
to God.
ago.
Yeah. This was like 08.
Moses told me when people showed up in like 2005 to 2012 almost, basically, they were like, they thought the Comedy Store was a museum of comedy.
Yeah.
And then they would show up and they would see that a guy was inside and there was 8 people in the room and they're like, oh, is this like this is like a demonstration of like what a show could be like. They're like, no, this is a 2-item minimum, like Friday night show.
Yeah.
It was bad, dude. It was and
it's crazy they made it through that because there was a lot of time that passed that way, right?
it's not that crazy because they own their own land. So
That's true.
What a club owner
And
taught
they have
me,
son-in-law money.
exactly, yeah. The club owner taught me early on, it's like a comedy club is worth their lease. The ability to print money happens when you can cover your lease and you know that people are coming in no matter what, and you can sell chicken tenders at a 400% markup and Bud Light at whatever, any number. And say any number and they will pay that for a Bud Light. So that's a really good business model as long as your lease is not, fucking you and all of the weekends where a bunch of people come in make up for the ones where you just have me and you headlining for 40 people or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the Comedy Store owns their land. And even they have struggled. Even they have thought about selling during the pandemic. That just shows you how volatile the fucking comedy business is. But yeah, it is. It's crazy that all 3 of those clubs within a fucking 2-mile radius or whatever it is, the Improv, Laugh Factory, and let's say the fact that even the Ice House and Comedy Magic Club, these places should not still be up and running from the 70s and 80s. It's very, very, very impressive with how expensive a liquor license in LA is. $1 million.
Is that the actual price?
That's the average. It's probably not what it was in the 80s, but that's they don't print them. They don't make any more liquor licenses. You have to wait till a business closes and then go and bid for one. It's a fucking nightmare. It's so hard to get into what that part of the comedy business is. And they've not only done it, they've set the standard for it, which is why we got to get some of our money from them.
You should be a club owner. You have such a weird little business mind.
I might at some point,
Yeah.
but I don't. The problem with being a really good club owner is that it incentivizes not paying comics super well. It incentivizes getting the most out of your resources and whatever. And sometimes paying people really well so that they'll go around and give you good marketing and be like, this guy pays really fucking what. But I think the reality is I want to be a union leader.
Yeah.
I want to be
That's
Dr.
more
Union.
useful.
I told that to Willie Simon one time and he was like, you know why you'd be perfect for that? Because we talk about this. We've always been talking about comedy unions in green rooms and stuff. He goes, but we need someone that the clubs already hate anyway. And he's like, you're the guy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my role.
Yeah, you're going to be the Jimmy Hoffa of comedy.
Let me ask you this. And this is, I don't know if we want to wrap up. I don't know how you guys are feeling, if we need more time or anything. But I think that the reality is unions right now are really left-wing coded. Mm-hmm. People sort of associated with this, liberal stuff or whatever. And the reality is, for a long, long, long time, unions were right wing.
Right.
They were anti-woman, anti-immigrant
So,
before World War II, and then they became a part of the left-wing economic power structure, whatever. How do we get people that are because comedy right now is dominated by freedom of speech guys, woke guys, Brazilian karate guys, all that stuff. How do we get these guys to look at I think that we don't use the word union. I think we have to stop using.
Unions are gay, so
unions are China and Soviet and whatever. We got to call it a comedy militia.
Okay, that's cute. They like that.
They love militias.
Is that why they called I forget, I don't know what union it is, but they call them the Teamsters? Did they just change the wording on
That's
it?
probably true. Yeah.
That might be. I don't know. Because
What are the
Call it a
Teamsters?
union?
I think the Teamsters
Oh, okay.
are a regular union that's regulated by the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board.
Okay.
The reason is that I'm making up this militia shit is because
I think you're right.
a union is very, very hard to get, one, up and running, and two, the original comedy union in 1979, they had to get sponsored by an existing union to exist, right? Mm-hmm. They chose SAG-AFTRA because that was a big, powerful, whatever. Mitzi Shore went on TV and used all of her connections and cried in front of Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show and said, they're trying to ruin my business. If I have to pay the comics, I won't be able to, whatever. And she made all this, mud in the press and whatever. And SAG-AFTRA backed off. They're like, this is too volatile. We can't do this. Like, we're not interested in being a part of it. So the comedians union had to be sponsored by a way, way, way less reputable nightclub and stripper union. And what ended up happening is, even though the comics got what they wanted, they got their fucking concession, which should make a union very popular. They had dues, they had an organization, whatever. Their parent union broke down and went bankrupt and whatever. And so that was the writing on the wall for them, where it's like all this like regulatory stuff made it so that like they had to find a new sponsor or something. I don't remember exactly the full story here. I could be, again, like misremembering it, but that was like the straw that like started breaking the camel's back, was that this parent union got fucked up. Well, in a militia, you know what militias are regulated by? The Second Amendment.
Okay.
That's it. The Second Amendment, 15 words or whatever it is. So now you could play real dirty with your collective bargaining with all. Unions have to have all kinds of rules and all kinds of like, whatever for it to be legal.
So you're talking about not just calling it a militia, but legally
making it a militia.
Okay.
So you're calling for firearms at open mics.
No, you don't have
do
to.
I get to buy a gun?
First of all, I don't think you need a.
Do I get to buy a gun?
That's how Texas
Give me an
is.
excuse. Just give me an excuse. I can't wait to buy a gun one day.
I don't think you have to have a weapon. But if you have a weapon and you bring it to the negotiation, like, we're gonna get a better deal.
So you want me to be
We're gonna
open carrying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow, we're bargaining.
Okay, got it.
Absolutely. I want my side to look tougher. Have you ever been in a standoff?
All right, great.
We're doing a Mexican negotiate off. And I genuinely believe in this. This was something that I'm like, I've put a lot of, I don't know, manic thought into.
So what would a militia do exactly?
Yeah, well,
the issue is,
how would a militia act like a union?
Yeah.
The issue is, there's a lot of states that are right to work, basically, where like unions don't have any legal rights, or maybe they can exist, but it's just not protected the same way, even at the federal level. But you know what? Who gets around that really well? Sports leagues, major league sports. They all have unions. And they all operate in deep red states and all kinds. That they just call themselves the Major League Baseball Players Association.
It's a PA, yeah.
It's a Players Association. It's the NFL, the football one, the hockey one, whatever. I don't know if the hockey is a union.
NHLPA.
Okay, thank God. The UFC does not. UFC, the guys that get their brains beaten to fucking death, and us are the only two people left in show business that don't have a union whatsoever.
That's pretty cool.
Even strippers started, and that does kind of make us cool, I guess.
There is a weird what do you call it? When the two bubbles, the overlap
Venn
between
diagram.
a Venn diagram of comedy and martial arts.
That's what we like to
Well,
say.
they end up in our stuff, but we don't. There's not a lot of like shitty comedians that are like, I couldn't do it in comedy, so now it's time to fight.
No, there's all sorts of people being like, dude, honestly, as soon as I started rolling, my comedy got way sharper.
I know.
I applied the logic of Brazilian jiu-jitsu to
But
comedy.
they are the worst comedians
Yeah.
in the world. They're just saying, actually, the funniest thing they said is that, what you're quoting right there.
But I love fighting sports. I mean, any
do?
sport. Yeah.
You like watching the fighting?
I never have, but I was doing.
Theoretically, you like it?
I like a fight in my sports.
The only gym in like near where I used to live when I was living in the country outside of Austin for a minute was this jiu-jitsu gym, and then they had Muay Thai. So I did a little bit of both, but mostly Muay Thai. So it just happened to be the case, but I loved it. And I was like, oh my God, I should have been doing this forever. Actually, when I was a kid, I tried to do karate and kung fu.
I do think it's cool. I did Shotokan. I did like martial arts for a while. I think it's discipline and all this stuff, whatever. But just never talk about it.
Yeah,
never brag
it's
about
so
it.
Gay.
It's like when you make weed your personality. It's the same fucking
weird.
thing. It's like 420, bro.
The first rule of Fight Club was don't talk about it.
Oh, the first rule.
We've gone over this.
But I do like watching fights. I like watching street fights.
It's the best.
I like watching hand-to-hand.
I watched one or two, and it is fun.
I'm online, in person, whatever.
Yeah.
But I also really, really like watching a fight in sports when it's not supposed to happen. When a fight breaks out, dugouts clear, or hockey.
The only reason anyone watches hockey is because of the fights, right?
No, he loves the puck.
Really?
I hate fights in hockey.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. It stops the hockey.
It
stops the game.
does stop the momentum.
They're not good fights.
Yeah, you're right. They're always
But they're funny, dude. They're like,
it's kind
gloves on the ground.
Like there's like funny shit happening that's like something new. Like you see a guy say something or do like a gesture that you haven't seen before. Oh, that was good. Like that's new.
Yeah.
But literally, your star player's getting his hand broke.
Add a little something.
I mean, one of my favorite soccer moments of all time is Zidane headbutting that guy in the World Cup. Headbutting Materazzi in 2006. You know what
I
I'm
don't
talking
think
about?
I've seen that.
It's the World Cup final. One of the best French players in the world. It's his last game ever. He's already won a World Cup in 1998, so he doesn't need to for his legacy. But as they're up 1-0, they're up a goal in like the 60-something or 70th minute. One of the defenders tells Zinedine Zidane that he would rather fuck his mom if his sister wasn't so hot or something. Like he just like finds some dirty Italian thing to say. And Zidane's like, oh, that's cool. Come here, and just headbutts him right in the chest, and straight red card.
Chest,
he's and they end up going to penalties, and France loses, and Italy wins the World Cup.
Italy was the one who provoked him.
The Italian was the guy who provoked him.
That's got to be Italy's last World Cup win, right?
It is in 2006. Yeah. They won the Euros recently, so they're still like a powerhouse soccer wise. The point being, this guy, he was like, everyone's like, do you regret it? Like the whole nation. And he's like, I don't regret it. And I think most of the nation doesn't regret it. And that's kind of true. Especially because the context is like they already won a World Cup. Yeah, they wanted another one. Of course of course. I think the game might have even been, if it wasn't in Germany, it was in France. It was at home or whatever.
Okay.
But the point is, that fight, whatever, was so righteous where you're like, yeah, I don't necessarily think you should get hit for things that you say or whatever, you know what I mean? But like defending your sister's honor when everybody's watching or something, I kind of like that. There's something
cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's wrong to hit someone just for words. Depends on the words and the context.
That was the most gentle way anyone could ever say that. I really like that.
I really don't like when men use misogyny against each other, like
Sure.
So
Yeah.
like, I think it's gallant. I like chivalry and gallantry from you men. We are weaker than y'all and stuff. We do need help.
Physically.
We need you to like beat up the bad guys.
In every other case, you're not weaker. I think you're emotionally and mentally just stronger than us. Only physically.
Yeah, exactly. But
than us.
physically, we visibly obviously are almost all the time. So I think we do need gallantry. I like that.
What do you think about women's driving? Why is that? Is that a stereotype? Is that related to reality? Is that a...
I think like generally, I don't know if that was a joke or not. Okay,
no, I'm literally,
because really
in different cultures,
yeah.
it doesn't come up the same way it reads here, where people are like, women are bad drivers. Some people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like
there are some studies that show that women are not as good at certain kinds of spatial reasoning than men. So I think in that way, but a lot of it is probably just how many total hours you've driven. And a lot of women gravitate toward letting other people drive for them. And a lot of men gravitate much more toward independence. And maybe that's genetic and or cultural in various extents, whatever. But I think could be a little bit of genetics, but it's probably mostly socialization here.
Yeah. Well, I think also because the insurance companies will tell you women are better decision makers at an earlier age.
Right.
And that's why they get a bit, like lowered insurance rates at certain ages. For men, it's like 25 before we get like pay the regular, 27 or something. But then the phenomenon again is they're so bad at it or something. I'm like, I think maybe they're just bad when you're in the car stressing them out or something.
Maybe.
Like it's observer bias. There's some sort of, it's the one stereotype that I'm like, this doesn't really.
Wait, are women worse drivers? Like, is there any kind of study?
I don't think there is a
statistic.
I don't think there's like no.
Because we can get mad at like certain demographics of drivers just because they're slow, and we constantly see them in the thing going up. Really slow again.
Yeah.
You
but
roll
then
by
that
and you
might
go,
be safer.
really?
Yeah.
Surprise.
Right. But you're like, I would rather be slow and safe than fast and reckless and
that's what I'm saying. I think the
men.
stats from the insurance companies say that men may have more.
You guys are always much more risk taking.
Yeah. But I think men will also spin that and be like, well, having more accidents doesn't mean we're worse drivers. We take more risks because we are better drivers, and so we're exposed to more. Like men will do that thing where we rationalize any position.
Right.
It's all about stats. You don't understand.
So you're saying
stats.
only women should be drivers?
I prefer to only have women chauffeurs. Yeah.
Let's try that for a minute. Only women are allowed to drive.
I mean, first of all, if that was the case, Uber would never have like rape problems the same way. Like
we would get rid of. Well, that's what. Okay.
You take an Uber recently, you can record the audio now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like for your safety, you want to record.
It'll record in app.
In app, yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, that's how little you trust your own guys.
Wow.
You're sending me the ability to like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's functional to have only women drivers, but I do think if we're gonna ever start like a new religion to, because we need like a good one finally, it should only be female clergy.
Oh, I love that.
That's obviously like they did a little switcheroo because if you don't want people who are gonna fuck your kids,
it's easier to
all
worship.
Women.
Yeah,
so easier to work. We got mommy. Let's do mommy God visual, imagery for a minute. We all like that.
Mommy
it's obviously
God is so much more loving.
God is such a it's nurturing. It's like obviously like female kind of does come first, and then out of a female like then you create the male, and now you've got two. Like it's mom is obviously it's like the more obvious choice.
Mom
for a God.
feeds you with her body.
Yeah, I think if you did start a religion that had a female deity, it would be more about like love and light than it would be about like an overbearing, dominant God wagging his finger at you. Because
but
like
still a little dominant.
A little bit.
When mom
Still
gets
a little
bit, but I think you'd be more willing to adhere to that.
Can you draw her, or are there Muhammad rules? Like, can you give her huge milkers?
I just would draw like a little potato person if I tried, but someone could. I would be happy. I think we can do Raven and Images.
I feel like is it wrong to be horny for your God?
I don't think so.
I think people have been horny for Christ for years.
Yeah. Okay. So I learned about this church called the Faith International or the Family International. I'm not sure, but their thing is when you're having sex or masturbating, you have to think. But like if you're having sex, you think of your partner as being Jesus. And you have to make love to Jesus. And if you're a man, then because they don't want it to be gay, you have to think of yourself as a woman being
you gotta be trans.
with Jesus. You got to be trans. We think of, so my...
And which part of the Philippines is this church in?
Right, exactly. It's probably just some dude who was trans who didn't want to be like, oh,
He's like,
no,
no.
I just got, I have to imagine myself as a woman because it's Jesus and we can't be gay. So that's what all the men have to do. Men think that's what's righteous. Yeah, there's a cool
ways that certain people can rationalize their queerness into like religion is fucking crazy, dude.
So
just be.
Yeah, that's kind of hot. They had all this like sexy talk that they would suggest to say, like there was pages in their website that would be like, so you can say, Jesus, oh Jesus, Lord, I want you to fill me with your hot Lord come. It was so cheap. It was like crazy.
Come was the vernacular.
They would say all kinds of. It was like erotic fiction suggested to you, but made a little bit more holy or just.
These aren't real church people. A real church person would have said seed.
They said, I think they said seed
a
lot.
Then that's
They said seed a lot. And
fill me with your filthy seed.
I had found out about these people just weirdly from the internet, but then I wound up meeting one not long after it, and it's all real. It wasn't, she was like, oh yeah, that is how it was.
At a show, at a dating thing, or what do you mean?
It's a friend of a friend.
Oh, okay.
At a dinner, and this woman, because I happened to bring it up, or somehow it came up. I don't know. And then she was like, yeah, I was actually raised in that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like 2% of people are Mormons and Jews and stuff. Like that's why you meet us all the time. Not many people are the Faith International.
No.
People.
It's like meeting an actual Westboro Baptist church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, whoa, you're fucking.
Yeah, they're the coolest.
Do you think there should be a gay country?
Well,
Isn't it
fun?
Italy?
Yeah.
I know that's a nice setup.
I think they won 2006 World Cup.
I try to use the Israeli logic where it's like there's 190 straight
Israel's
countries.
pretty gay.
We can't have one gay country.
I think there is some island that's been kind of taken over by the gays, and they might have called it a country.
Little St. James.
Yeah.
No.
Curacao.
I think there's a lot of straight stuff going on.
That's most. You're right. That was a horrible joke. It's all straight rape
both.
there.
Oh, I'm sure it was plenty of both. But
No disrespect to the Vatican. That's where the gay rape goes down.
Yeah, they have their own country, I guess.
There's a gay gang, a gay prison gang, the GBG.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The GBGBs.
I mean, but if you're
gay boy gangsters,
because most of the gangs in prison are religious. I feel like I would join the gay gang even if I wasn't gay, just to be like, they're scared. I know, like they're afraid of this for sure. Like they're literally afraid, dog.
Is the gay boy gang like? Is it a bunch of tops? You got the bottoms.
You got to assume
that's funny. It's all tops. Like we make you the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Or is it all bottoms?
It's
They're
all
like,
tops?
well, we actually we just visit other teams. And
we're
have
actually
fun
just
that
the
night.
gay union.
No. It's just tops and ops.
Tops and ops. Yeah. They probably protect the little girl ones.
I would assume it's like probably a more whole,some family unit than the rest of the gangs that are in prison.
I don't know.
Fine, sure.
Could go either way.
I'm imagining them as mercenary hitmen.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But
it
no
could be that
disrespect
thing
to any
where-
gay community. That's just because that's what jail is.
prison.
That's right. It's prison.
Yeah, everyone's doing it.
It could be that they're, it's that Selena's thing where you got or Selena thing where it's like we got to be more Mexican than the Mexicans. We got to be more white than the white.
Yeah.
We got to be harder than the straight guys.
Yeah.
We got to be more gangster than the gangs. Like
That turns me on, but I have a real thing for man on man when they're straight. So
I thought it was
if
my
a gay
Edward
man
James
were-
Olmos impression.
Oh,
My friend, you know him, Trey Tutson.
yeah. Okay.
He told me about one of his uncle's associates or friends or something, a guy in the neighborhood that had been in prison for a while, and he had this really weird. He was like a not a superhero, like a vigilante. Basically, if a woman or a man or if someone got in the community and the police didn't do anything about it, this guy would go
Yes.
and them.
This is what I'm talking about.
And that.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
perfect.
And his nickname was No No. Because
That's what the men would yell.
yeah, you'd see him coming like, no.
This man is my hero. That's what you men should be doing on our behalf. I would like you to go this. I have a long list in comedy
just like,
that you guys
it's
could.
no homo.
No homo, dude. This is because you're.
There does need to be more vigilante justice. I don't want to be the one to do it because I don't want to have to another dude.
You don't seem like.
But
that.
I would definitely send.
Quickly, I would get my fucking ass kicked if I went out there and was like, "This is for so and so."
Well, you need a gun.
I'd be running down the street going, "Oh no!"
Yeah, if you have a gun though, you can anyone.
But
yeah.
now the charges are getting worse and worse for you. So
Yeah.
yeah, we need.
Speaking
Maybe
of
that's
gun.
what the militia
No, I
could
have
do.
attempted with a weapon.
Can the comedy militia
Bringing it back
also?
to
Can you guys also take care of the?
if we catch, we're gonna put a gun in your butt.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
you don't
a
wanna put
union
your own
promise.
dick-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we'll find a guy whose dick wants to go in there. But if you can't get an erection, and no matter how many Blue Chews you take, the union is sponsored by Blue Chew. You can always put a gun in someone's ass. You don't have to fire it. You just have to let them feel, hey, safety's off.
Yeah. Don't fire it. We will get into more trouble if you fire it. But I think if you just put it in there.
This might be one of the most eventful podcasts I've ever done.
We're kidding, by the way, about ever doing
All
anything
these
illegal.
are jokes of a comedic nature.
This goes under parody law.
This goes under pirate parody law. Palestinian pirate parody. PPP. We're gonna do our regular sign out here where we draw the picture of Muhammad. Before that, where can we find? Is there any? This might come out in 4 days. It might come out in 4 months. Is there anywhere evergreen where people can go and subscribe to your content or interact with your stuff or follow? You know, what's a good?
Yeah, subscribe to AI Mormon on YouTube and on Instagram. It's Ellen to Genderless.
Probably not my second. Yeah, I'm gonna go second favorite, but one of my top favorite handles of all time, Ellen DeGenderless.
It's good.
And now I can't get rid of it because it's.
I know.
People like
you
it.
know Michael Daydays. That's the only one that I think is better. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say
Don't
it.
say it. You said enough.
Look it up. Michael Dayday has an incredible handle.
I want to see.
I'll tell you off air. Do you have anything to plug, Chanang?
No, because I have no idea when this is going to come out. So
This is like
knows?
Hanukkah 2027.
yeah, I think my campaign will probably start. by then,
You're going
so-
for alderman or
Yeah, some sort of office. I think maybe
mayor of
I think
California?
by then, I think I might be actually baptized Catholic, so maybe bishop.
Are you a revert? Did you start off Catholic?
No, we stopped going to church because we got in a car accident on the way there. My sister was baptized.
Jesus took the wheel.
No, he didn't. He didn't. We thought he was.
But you weren't baptized before? But y'all's family was doing that Catholic shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're now actually in church now?
No. I went to church the week the Pope died. For some reason, I had just seen Conclave.
Before the Pope died?
No, the weekend after.
Oh, okay.
I watched Conclave that week, and then he died, and I was
yeah.
like, "Fuck, dude, something about this is just like fascinating." So I went, and it was cool. I don't have anything else to say about it.
I went to 30 churches this year because I went like mostly on a trip around Romania, and that's what we have. You know, we got churches and brothels, and my wife won't let me go to brothels, so churches.
Nice. No, I don't have anything to plug. Follow me at the other Channing on Instagram. I got 10 new followers this week.
Boom. And my name is Radu Bondar. If you can spell that, that'll lead you to whatever I'm doing. Good night.
I was cute with your hair down the middle.
Thank you. I always
most people
assume
don't.
people listen to these things at night. So I go, good night and good evening and hello.
Good night is the only good sign off.
It's the only good sign off.
Good morning is the only one good to say during the all day.
Sometimes when my brain really doesn't work and I'm stuck between both my languages, I go hi and hello.
Hi, hello.
And I'm like, oh, people think I'm a cop now.
Yeah.
It's like you're not talking normal.
We're just autistic, maybe.
Cut.
I hate you, bitch.